Welcome back! As promised, I will cover the hidden gems. In my previous review, I covered these games. But today I will cover these. I've picked these for a different video because they are completely different and not your standard extraction shooter. Well, most of them. Let me explain why. Have you ever wondered what mixing dark fantasy with Western America would get you? You don't go into this game for loot, you go in to kill monsters. That's your treasure. You don't have to worry about gear like helmets, armor or backpacks. You can just bring your revolver and your best ammo and have the time of your life. And there's no fear of losing anything, just the fear of failure. Let's talk about why this game is so different from any other games in this genre. It's incredibly audio driven. You'll hear footsteps, gunshots echoing through the swamp, distant cries of monsters, and every sound could mean life or death. This game is about one thing: getting the most out of your raids. It rewards patience and strategy. Every decision matters. Rushing in headfirst, you'll be dead before you hit your second shot. Each gun is made to be cocked and loaded before taking your next shot. And if you have a semi-auto gun, be sure to prepare a pretty coin. The trade system is wild. You've got 52 trades to choose from. Some give you more stamina, like Greyhound, others they're basically wall hacks, under the correct circumstances of course. You can build your hunter your own way, or you can roll with a freebie and pray. When it comes to the weapons, I'll keep it short. As mentioned before, guns need to be reloaded before you can take your next shot. The semi-auto or fully automatic guns are either going to need constant resupplying, or are going to have so much recoil that you'll be shooting the birds in the sky more than the players. What else is different? The health system. Instead of having a set amount of health, you have bars that are split into smaller sizes. This determines how much health you can recover and regenerate, and when you're burning, this health bar can burn away, and for the rest of the match keep you on low health. There's also poison, which stops you from healing. Now the fun part, the hunting part. Each hunt has one goal in common: to find a boss bounty. You can find them using clues, which you find in each POI or through the shadow vision. Despite the clue having only one purpose, they can also alert you if an enemy is nearby by turning red. But what happens after you kill the boss? You can collect it, but you get marked on the map for everyone. Having the bounty though allows you to see the enemies from some distance in the shadow vision for a limited time. But what if you die? You lose your hunter and all of your traits. Also, with the new update, they have added secondary bosses that you can either find through the shadow vision, listen to growls, or you can find clues that point you to a direction of a really big alligator. The style? It's alright. Some might consider it edgy, but I find it really cool. The risk? I honestly don't feel any risk. Sure, when you kill one of the bosses, you are asked to escape, and when you die, it's a bummer. But otherwise, there's no risk. Dying does sting and set you back, but you get free hunters, and you have a mode to play if you're looking just for PvP. The gameplay? It's simple. Easy to understand and get into, but really hard to master. I used to play with a buddy who has well over 600 hours in the game, and he can tell apart the pacing of footsteps from grunts and players. And I can barely tell how far away gunshots are. The replayability? Very replayable. Honestly, you can aim for unlocking everything, getting every trait on your character, doing as many quest lines, or reaching the highest prestige. The game gets updated with new events here and there, and the grind is really fun. Now I know this video is about extraction shooters, but this game had to be on the list. This is basically Dungeons and Dragons if it were an extraction game. You pick from a handful of fantasy classes, each with unique weapons, abilities and passives. I personally made the Barbarian because it's a simple, strong and brutally satisfying class. The others, more specialized, especially if you're playing in a squad. Also, the loot pool for some classes are so small, it's practically its own endgame quest. Right off the bat, the game feels nice, smooth, and combat is surprisingly grounded. Swinging your weapon isn't just an animation, it matters. Enemies feel balanced, but the maps are dark. It's as if the game was doing it on purpose, huh? Anyway, One thing I appreciate is that all of the merchants are unlocked from the start, and no quests are locked behind like a level or class, so you always have something to do and look out for. And like the last game, audio is very critical in this game. You learn to distinguish NPC footsteps from players, and honestly that saved my ass more than once. You have 3 maps to choose from: the Goblin Caves, the Ruins of the Forgotten Castle, and the Frost Mountain, each having their own set of enemies, loot, and bosses. The most common one is the Goblin map. Personally, I enjoy the castle map because of the easy layout and all of the loot you can find. You get thrown into games right away because the queue times are fast. Each game lasts up to 15 minutes, so despite feeling so slow, this game is fast paced. Fights don't even last a minute most of the time, unless you're approached by a stupid fuck. One thing that bothers me about these maps though, is that when you find an item that is above the rare grade, you can't use them or play with them unless you spend money to get into the higher roller lobbies, which is 27 euros. The free-to-play version is just quote-unquote a demo to see if you enjoy the game. Same goes with having more characters, you can only have one, meaning you have to delete it or pay 27 euros for a new one. There's also seasonal passes, but those are just temporary. Outside of that, there's nothing more to say. The game loop is simple, the gameplay is fun, getting into the game is okay, and it's addictive if it scratches your night itch. The style, it's not the worst, but I know some people are going to be bothered by how dark the game is, despite its name. The risk, with how many items you can find and how many of them are actually rare, this game made my heart race a little in some situations. Man, I miss that feeling. Though, when you die you get the basic loadout back, so it's not that bad. The gameplay? It's fun. It's not easy at all depending on what class you plan to play. Nice. My tip is when fighting, don't spam your left click, just hold it. The replayability? It's more fun than I expected. I was coming back to this game to play it solo and with friends too, and it's so much fun with friends. But before we move to the next games, here are some honorable mentions. The Forever Winter. Can I be honest with you? I haven't heard of this game before making this video, and it's a weird game. In a good way. Right off the bat, the game hits you with a dystopian vibe, and you're a scav, looking for water and other supplies, whilst traveling through an ongoing war with robots and other factions. A lot of you people were talking about this game, but I hate to break it down to you guys. I didn't enjoy it. The poor optimization from Unreal Engine has made the game not enjoyable for me. Now, I know this is disappointing, but the game does seem fun, just not in long term. Level 0 Extraction. This game started off as a demo and people seem to love it. Personally, it gives me the vibes of GTFO or Get the Fuck. But wait, why am I mentioning a dead game? Well, firstly, I had this game on my radar for a while until I heard the bad news. And secondly, this game deserves to be at least known for what it was trying to do. Long story short, this was a game that mixed the PvEVP element in a very unique way. Not only were you fighting other players trying to get loot, but you were fighting monsters, and those monsters were controlled by players. Well, not all of them, but how neat is that? An extra camper's wet dream. The Cycle Frontier. You probably remember this game, and if not, I'm not surprised. This game used to be praised a lot by big streamers because it was very replayable. There were factions that each gave you a different weapon, from regular guns to energy guns. Sadly, the problem with the game was that it got overwhelmed with hackers, which led to one thing: decreasing player count. Sadly, the anti-cheat was, if I recall correctly, Battle Eye, which is super easy to bypass. The game was shut down on September 27th, 2023. Now, back to some underrated games. Do you like Grazon Warfare and Escape from Tarkov but are so tired of players killing you? You're gonna want to hear about Incursion Red River. A quick disclaimer, this game is in alpha, but I felt like it was still worth mentioning it. This is a solo and co-op tactical extraction shooter with up to 4 players, which is really nice. Gunplay, it's fine, serviceable. The weight system is there, but doesn't really impact how it plays, and most enemies won't even see you past 50 meters. So far, there are only 2 maps, Quarry and Bunker. Quarry is, as the name suggests, a quarry inside a Vietnamese jungle where you have some outposts, and overall, the map looks good. Bunker is a totally different beast. It's dark, night vision heavy, and confusing as hell. I legit spent 40 minutes trying to find an exit, but hey, till it's solid at least. Let's start with the path. You can't pick more than one mission, audio is not good, no hit indication, and no badge selling. What about the good? I like that you can change the AI, so if you want a challenge, go for it. If you want it easy, go for it. The night vision goggles are realistic, maps are full of containers that you can loot, you can find high grade weapons easily, you have a lot of stash space, and getting money is easy. What needs to get changed? Not just the sound design, although yeah, that needs love too, but the whole sound engine. Right now, if an enemy is in your line of sight, they sound like they're walking right next to you. And yes, I get it, it's a single player game, but with the right audio backbone, this could be so much more. And add a story-driven questline? This could be special. So should you get it? Depends. Are you looking for a game where you can mess around with your friends or alone? Get it. Are you looking for a game that makes you feel immersed? Don't get it just yet. The style? It looks like your average extraction shooter. The risk? There is no real punishment. You control the difficulty, there's no timer, no stakes, which can be relaxing or boring depending on your mood. The gameplay? It's rough around the edges, but I believe after some smoothing, optimization, it will get so much better. The replayability? I'll play this in the future when the game gets more updated, but for now, 2 out of 5. Ah yes, the game made by the same people who made DayZ, but made it a console exclusive before putting on PC. After 5 years. Right off the bat, the game feels dated. I didn't check the release date after my first session, but it felt like an H1Z1 contender when H1Z1 was on top. The introduction was okay, it taught me the basics, but when I got into the game, it was a bumpy ride from there. My first encounter was pretty good. Yeah, I'm kidding, it was awful. I was going to play 2 more games to unlock more maps before the game crashed. It wasn't a great sign, but I kept pushing on. My other encounter was better, I finally got some kills. Escaping the raid, I found out that you can upgrade your shelter, which is a really nice touch and gives you something to do in the game and look for. The only hold up? Really long queue times.
Was that supposed to happen?
But after playing for a while, it has started to get boring, for me at least. Quests riddle along the lines of walk 100 meters or something and you get some items. Gun customization was non-existent, just upgrading some stats, and honestly, I didn't find myself enjoying it as much. The game though feels like an arcade game, and your only purpose is honestly to get as many items to level up your shelter to the max level and maybe collect some of the collectibles. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying the game is entirely bad, but for what it is, it's not worth getting into. Unless you are a completionist and are looking for a simple game where you can turn your brain off and just play. You can tell this game was made for a niche audience that has, or can, and is willing to sink a lot of hours into it. The style? Outdated. I feel like I was playing an H1Z1 clone. The risk? Honestly, you get a lot of items at the start and crafting items is cheap. The gameplay? It's alright, there's no crazy looting mechanic, you just grab and have one slot filled, no big wait, no nothing. Though, I do enjoy the shelter building mechanic, but genuinely it just feels like a battle royale game. The replayability, quests are weird, there are quests, but I feel like the only thing you're playing this game is to find materials and craft rare weapons and upgrade your shelter, and that's it. I won't waste your time. This is just a mobile port on PC, and when I wanted to look up something about the game, this was the first search result. But I decided to give it a fair shot anyway. And holy Chinese slop. Now, don't take it the wrong way, I'm not calling it a slop because it's a Chinese game, but it screams of it. It's all so close to each other and the UI feels so cluttered and confusing. And of course, they just quickly ported it to the PC and that's it. They didn't change anything, of course, why would they? But if I have to take out my critical thinking hat and just take it from a perspective of a guy who just got home from their 12-hour shift, this game makes me feel like I'm a beast. Like as if I just discovered a new method to game and never lose. Most players you meet are on their phone, they can barely see you on the screen. Honestly I had fun. Once I just turned off my brain and let myself indulge in the moment for like 2 games, and then I turned it off and didn't bother turning it back on. The style? Phone port. The risk? Phone enemies. NPCs don't even know you exist. The gameplay? Easiest game ever. Huge ego boost. The replayability? One and done. But if I have to be serious, you could probably enjoy it if you have a bad computer, or if you're looking for games that just look like this. And that's it. Out of all of these games I have mentioned, you should give Showdown a try. It's highly addictive, and I've already sunk well over 100 hours into it while I was working on this video. Also, holy shit guys, I asked for 20 likes, thank you so much. And I am aware some of you mentioned other titles, but for now, I wanted to cover the more known titles. Maybe I'll consider covering these in the future, who knows. But for now, I depart, and I'll see you in the future. And subscribe.